Hi, I'm Cindy Leong, a relationship and Enneagram coach of Relationship Studio and Divine Connect, and I'm getting naked with Eugene.
Cindy does many things, many things, but two of which I know that she's really proficient in is in life coaching, and what I'm more interested in is in dating advice.
Ah, yes.
I actually want to learn the art of dating so that I could go into any situation, meet any girls, and not feel like an awkward turtle.
So I guess the first thing first is how to get past that first date in a cafe, for example. How do you break the ice? How do you set your expectations right?
Okay.
And all that. So I think Enneagram does a lot because you kind of know how this other person might be different relatively to your style or your preference. Enneagram basically explains your base motivation, your base emotions, the base defense mechanism, and that also keeps you in a loop. You learn to free yourself from some sort of frustration or unrealistic expectation. So generally, people communicate better after they learn about Enneagram, and it's like, oh, now I can understand why you're doing what you're doing and pass less judgment. Which is also the universal answer when I ask all my clients, which is the guy is too boring, lor. Too plain, too boring, nothing outstanding, not proactive enough.
Would boring then be very subjective? Like, what's boring to you could then perhaps another girl in that position could be laughing her head off.
Yeah, exactly. So like different frequency, right? So after I understand about the Enneagram, then I kind of know, okay, what sort of people would I can strike a better conversation with. What sort of people is like, nice guys just don't get the girls.
What's that disconnect right there?
The nice guys are really nice on the inside, but on the outside, whatever they show you is just not that attractive, okay? So you need to find a balance where you learn to be assertive. That means you speak up your mind. You speak up your mind in a polite way so people hear you. You are no longer a doormat. And the girl say, oh, it's okay, I can pay, right? And then the guy say, okay, sure.
Oh, but I want to get to that. See, she wasn't being very honest, was she? Right? She said, don't need. And the guy go, okay.
But I will always tell the guy, always get the bill. And I always ask the guy to ask for something in return. Then you pay for the dessert. Or you can get the drinks later. It's important to allow this kind of reciprocity. They have like type 8 women, they will say, hey, I tend to attract weaker guys. And I want a stronger guy. I say, but you are so strong already. Which other stronger guy will go for you? Right? So you tend to attract the weaker guys. So if you want a stronger guy, you need to soften up. But there are times you just need to give the guys the credit and allow him to take the lead and just go with the flow sometimes. So it's about having two operating systems. I would say in this society, men generally just need to be masculine at work and at home. One OS. But for ladies, we need to toggle between two. At work, we are very masculine and everything, which is fine, which gets us where we need to go. But at home, you need to change to the feminine OS. So the ability to toggle between these two is important. But if you can't, then that's when you get situations where, top CEOs of companies and stuff like that having a marriage breakdown and things like that. And it's very common. Can you read Mandarin?
最的老婆最幸福。
Yeah， 会撒娇的老婆。
聪明女人啊，最
会撒娇的老婆最幸福。
会撒娇的老婆最幸福 means the lady who knows how to take on will be the luckiest, right?
Yeah.
聪明女人是受幸福的。
享受幸福。
Enjoy fortune.
A lot of people think that, in a first date, we click, and after that, we expect things to go well. And then after that, the conflict happen, and okay, it's just the wrong match, or this person is just a bad guy or whatever and broke up. So you form some sort of judgment without actually investigating what's wrong. In any relationship, there's always three phases. It's always about first the attraction, where, oh, you and I have this thing in common, or you and I complement each other in this. So people again ask me, right, similarity works better or opposite attracts. Both works, okay? That works for the first phase, always, okay? Then the next part is about dealing with the differences.
Okay.
Even two similar people have got some sort of differences. Like one is more anal than the other. And then how do you manage that differences? So a relationship breakdown is when one of the party or both parties do not want to work through that difference.
She has found some girls for me who I do not know.
Yeah.
I've not met, no idea who they are, and I'm supposed to impress them on our first date.
I spent one Saturday morning at the Beatles in Love Cafe dating 4 girls in 2 hours under the watchful eye of my relationship coach. I've been on dates before, but never one where I was going to be publicly judged and rated. My biggest concern about blind dates was this. You sit there for 10 minutes and just get really awkward, nothing to talk about, or talk too much.
How to get awkward with a type 7, you say. Yeah, so animated, and when there's an awkward silence, the 7 will be very quick to just fill in the gap, so you pull it off.
Speaking of filling in the gap, that was what happened with the first girl Ching Ching that I had a date with, right? I remember the feedback session where she said something about...
I think I myself was a bit like... a bit overwhelmed.
Tell us more about Ching Ching's feedback.
What she told me after that was, she enjoyed it so much that she felt you were so animated that she just didn't think of anything to ask you since you volunteer all the information.
You know how number 7 works, right? Yeah. Okay, you're not going to say a thing. I'm going to start talking, right?
Yeah.
So I just went on and on and on and on. I felt she wasn't interested at all.
Yes.
Which I then learned from you later on, that's not the case.
So with people that I'm not that familiar with, I will try to keep my cool.
The thing about type 9 is that they can enter into a state of lazy to think, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So when you are so animated, they're just happily being entertained, so they were not even thinking of any question to ask you.
Okay, so let's go on with number 2. Lisa.
Yes.
Lisa, the very odd type 7. She's not the type 7, the usual type 7 that I know.
Yes.
It's more like the mindset. I go in with the mindset of like seeing something interesting in a person.
Lisa intrigues the hell out of me. She stared deep into my soul.
Ooh. Carries a bit more vibe of a typical 5. Yeah, which is someone who is more of an observer, more of a thinker.
Okay, sounds like we have a next date then. Whether that was deliberate or not, but the way you arranged the dates, they were really impactful. Like the contrast
back to back.
Yeah.
There you have the next person who is all animated, just like you.
I'm sorry, I haven't got to know your name yet. Gina. Eugene.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
We were just bouncing off the walls. We were laughing. We were just having a great time.
Yeah.
But someone else asked me, so what do you guys talk about?
Just now what did I say? I forgot already.
Cannot remember.
Can't remember at all.
Yes. But you know that your energy actually matches each other, and it was a fun time that you have together, and that's it. Yeah. So the thing is about 7s and 7s usually are good clicks at the beginning, but usually after a few dates, you really do not know, because both parties tend to have this fun element and this commitment phobic thing, and like whoever that shows the true self first is gonna lose. Kind of game that you're playing.
The last one.
Yeah.
And the one that's probably the most surprising one for me was Sharon.
Yeah.
When I first saw her and she's all gibberish,
Yes.
right? I thought she's not going to enjoy herself and it's going to be really awkward. But when she sat down, she combed her hair back, she smiled at me and she said,
What's your core? Like, what makes you happy? What makes you fulfilled? Like, as a person?
Feelings, type 7 feelings, whoa.
Not sure if it's there.
And that's like the opening line of the conversation, right? There's no way you can buy time and beat around it and not talk about it, because it's the opening line and she's looking at you very earnestly.
Yeah.
Tell me about you. I want to help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sort of made me strip bare my defenses and went into talking about me
Yeah.
and what made me happy. And I think that really worked out for Sharon because that made her connect with me almost instantaneously.
Wow.
Right? That I could see the body language start to ease up.
Yeah.
She was no longer as apprehensive or defensive. She's really leaning forward,
Yeah.
talking, laughing, asking
That's good.
questions.
Yeah.
People go on dates, speed dating, whatever they have, with a checklist with a I'm right, you're wrong mentality. Every other type has its pros and cons, including you.
Yes.
And the aim is not to just check everyone off your list, but to be able to weave in and be flexible.
Yes.
And the ultimate goal is to be one with everything. So that was my biggest takeaway from this interview.
Wow, that's good. You really hit the nail on its head. Yeah, that was exactly what I was trying to share with all my clients.
If you are the kind of person in a relationship where you are giving and you're bending over backwards and you find that your partner is always putting you down and you are having to compromise your values to fit your partners, bring your partner down for this course. Talk to us, talk to Cindy, and always remember this. As much as you think the other person is an asshole, that person probably thinks the same way about you. Alright. Thank you, Cindy.
He could actually probably offer a bit more information about himself voluntarily without having to wait for me to ask him about himself. So when he offered a bit more information, at least I can sort of like ask questions to get to know him a bit better.
So, how would you rate this whole conversation?
I think out of a scale of 10, right, 1 to 10, probably about an 8. He makes me all feel at ease to talk to. It won't be awkward.
So funny!
Yeah, you just have to rate him. So yes.
It'll make a decent impression on the first date. Yeah, like conservative but not too flashy as well, and his style.
So I would say that you enjoy this whole entire conversation with him.
Yeah, very fun guy.
Yeah.
Very fun guy. Lots of ideas, lots of creativity, lots of joy lah.